Good morning and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to be looking at the poem Poppies by Jane Weir, and I just want to say a big thank you to all of those that have been watching my videos, that have been leaving me really nice comments and really nice feedback. These do take a bit of time for me to make, and I'm glad that they're really paying off and worth it for you lot. So let's get into it. Obviously poppies is linking us to this image of poppies in a field, and most of you will sort of get the connection. This is probably going to be a poem that's about war. So I'll read it to you and you can see what you think. Poppies. 3 days after Armistice Sunday, and poppies have already been placed on individual war graves. Before you left, I pinned one onto your lapel, crimped petals, spasms of paper red, disrupting a blockade of yellow bias binding around your blazer. Sellotape bandaged around my hand, I rounded up as many white cat hairs as I could, smoothed down your shirt's upturned collar, stilled the softening on my face. I wanted to graze my nose across the tip of your nose, play at being Eskimos like we did when you were little. I resisted the impulse to run my fingers through gel blackthorns of your hair. All my words flattened, rolled, turned into felt, slowly melting. I was brave. As I walked with you to the front door, threw it open, the world overflowing like a treasure chest. A split second, and you were away, intoxicated. After you'd gone, I went into your bedroom, released a songbird from its cage. Later, a single dove flew down from the pear tree, and this is where it has led me. Skirting the churchyard walls, my stomach busy making tucks, darts, pleats, hatless, without a winter coat or reinforcements of scarf, gloves. On reaching the top of the hill, I traced the inscriptions on the war memorial. So that's our little poem. I'll just show you the questions that I've got in mind for you today. I think what would be a really good idea is if you just copy and paste these into a document, and then you'll be able to answer those and just send them back to me. So we've got who wrote the poppies, and if you were listening, I've already told you. What inspired them to write it? What themes does the poem cover? Why might there not be a regular rhyme scheme? Write down 2 similes from the poem in quotation marks. Write down a metaphor from the poem in quotation marks. Does the mother appear to be pro-war, anti-war, both, or neither? What is the fate of the son? What war do you think is being referenced, and what message might the writer be trying to deliver by sharing this piece of writing with the world? Now, a lot of these questions don't have 100% correct answers. I'm asking for your opinion. Some of them, if I don't cover them in the video, you're going to need to take your time, look online, do some research, and find them out. Before I finish, I just want to go through a couple of ideas from this poem. Tomorrow I'm going to set you a task to do with writing, but I just want to pick out a few ideas so you've already seen. So, 3 days before Armistice Sunday. Obviously, Armistice Sunday is that Sunday that falls nearest November the 11th. And it's that day where we reflect and we remember those that have paid sacrifice for this country and lost their lives. Poppies, which we've already spoken about, these these have that symbolism, and we immediately recognise them as being to do with war, and obviously the poppy that a lot of people will wear around that date as well, have been placed on individual war graves. Now I think this war graves might be a bit of a hint towards the fate of the son. Before you left, I pinned one onto your lapel. So this before you left, this is telling me this is a bit of a flashback. This isn't in current time. So that little flashback, I pinned one onto your lapel. Crimped petals, spasms of paper red. Crimped and spasms. Those are interesting because they have a bit of a negative connotation to them. Disrupting a blockade of yellow bias binding around your blazer. And again, those words seem to have quite a negative connotation for what is quite a nice event of the mum getting her son ready to go to join the army or join the war effort. Sellotape bandaged around my hand as I rounded up as many white cat hairs as I could. This sellotape bandage. Sellotape is quite a familial family kind of image, whereas bandage has those war connotations attached to it, maybe of being injured or being hurt. I rounded up as many white cat hairs as I could, and I've never owned a cat, but that reminds me of, a mother looking after her son, and it being a lovely family home where there's a pet and she's trying to get all the hairs off his smart uniform. Smoothed down your shirt's upturned collar, stilled the softening on my face. stilled and softening. One's a hard, sad sound, whereas the other is much gentler, and that creates that little oxymoron, maybe linking to how the mother feels about her son going to war. And I think that might be something I might pick out. So mother's feelings around son going to war. I want to graze my nose across the tip of your nose, play at being Eskimos like we did when you were little. And again, that's another really nice little familial image of a mother playing with her son. I resisted the impulse to run my fingers through the gelled blackthorns of your hair. So she's talking about that short, kind of spiky hair that you get left with after you've been to the barber's and you've got your hair cut really short. And that's the haircut you might have had going into the military. All of my words flattened, rolled, turned into felt, slowly melting. So we've got this listing the mother's using here. And it seems as though she can't quite find the words to talk. This little syndetic list, if I was showing off, this syndetic list is telling us the mixed sort of feelings and emotions. Perhaps the fact that she's tongue-tied, I'd be thinking about. I was brave as I walked with you. So the mother focuses on her own emotions here, using that pronoun I. With you to the door. Threw it open, the world overflowing like a treasure chest. And I think this is all the sort of opportunities and sort of the excitement that lies potentially ahead for her son. A split second and you were away, intoxicated. And again, that links to that excitement. After you'd gone, I went into your bedroom, released a songbird from its cage. She's not actually done that, so this is building up a bit of a metaphor. It's almost as like she's come to accept and understand the son's decision. Later, a single dove flew from the pear tree, and this is where it has led me. Later. So we've moved forwards in time now. Perhaps this is taking us to the present day. A single dove. Now, this single dove, I think that might be a bit of a metaphor. I'll let you figure out what you think it's for. And this is where it has led me, skirting the churchyard walls, my stomach busy making tucks, darts, pleats, hatless, without a winter coat or reinforcements of scarf, gloves. Again, we see this syndetic listing being used. And I think this is, the tucks, darts, pleats, is referring to how terrible she feels inside. Her stomach's really doing somersaults, she feels awful. And the reinforcements of scarf and glove, I think, might be metaphorical. Might be metaphorical for how she doesn't feel like she's got that protection, that safety anymore. On reaching the top of the hill, I traced the inscriptions on the war memorial. And I think that being a war memorial might give us a hint as to which war this might be talking about. And I think it's also giving us a hint about the fate of her son. So I'll leave you there for today. Remember, these questions I'll upload. If you can work through these for today, do a little bit of independent research for any that you're not sure of. Hope you enjoyed. Stay safe. Speak soon.